feel like every video out there is just Sakura Bloom, Sakura Bloom, Sakura Bloom. And I was like, oh my gosh, there are no other carriers. I kind of wish there was a video that really broke down other carriers when I was starting to baby wear. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Hyla Home. Here we talk about motherhood, natural living, and homemaking, which just includes renovating our 1940s home. Today I'm going to be giving you a breakdown of the different type of soft structured carriers. I have been carrying my toddler for ever since she was 6 months old, and now she is almost 16 months old. So I feel like after a lot of wearing her and doing things around the house as well as going outside and going on walks, I have a good feel for what I like. So I'm going to break down not only the different styles of soft structured carriers, but then also what my favorite brand of soft structure carrier is. Just a quick disclosure, I am not being sponsored to make this video. This is all from experience and my opinion, and so I really hope that this is helpful in helping you make a decision. So the first type of structured carrier is your typical soft structure carrier like this. This is kind of the style that like an Ergo baby carrier would be, or just if you were to get a baby Bjorn or Mama Cozy or those types of carriers. This is kind of the standard soft structured carrier. So I'm going to show you with this Tula baby carrier. For the soft structured carrier, you have a waistband and it fits like this on your waist. So and then you have these two straps that go over your shoulder and you tighten it however you see fit. I don't really want to mess up with the tightness of this because my husband uses this one, and then the baby sits in here and you buckle it in the back and you have it kind of like a little backpack for your baby. So this is your typical soft structure carrier. This is what a lot of people think of. This is what a lot of people have. This one in particular is the Tula carrier, and this one is, I believe, just their standard carrier. I really like that the shoulder straps are really cushioned. This one is a retired print. They also, for this one in particular, you can see the setting has it at its more narrow hip setting. I can actually bring that further out. So you can wear front, you can wear back, and you can actually wear facing out. This one has this adjustment where it can become narrower so that the baby can really sit facing forward. And then there you have this buttons where you can make it a wider panel and your baby can sit facing you while they're on their back or on the front. Now this one has a couple of different adjustments here on the waist. It can get really small for a littler baby and really big for a bigger baby. With this one, they say that you can wear as little as 7 pounds. So in theory, I could be wearing my newborn in this, but I just, as a general rule, don't like doing the soft structured carriers for the littlest babies. I like putting them in the wrap because they have a really hard time getting their legs to spread like that. So I mainly use this for my older daughter. Right now it's on the fullest setting paneling, but there are 3 settings. So you can get super narrow, you can get a little bit narrow to go to here, and then you have this setting, this full setting, which is for the toddler since she's at the biggest weight. This also has this little part, this little head chin thing that can come up higher. So if I was wearing my littlest baby, I could put him in and I'd have that extra support for behind his neck. But because she is so much older, she doesn't need that, and she actually kind of likes having less of the fabric up on her, so we've folded it down, and so it just sits like that. This one came with a hood as well, but neither of us really use it, so we took it off. It snaps on and off, so which is really nice, because if we decide we did want to use it, we could just snap it back on. The straps are all adjustable, and then they also have these little elastics at the end so that you can wrap up the straps to the length that you need, and you can put this little elastic on it, and then they're not so long, so I really like that as well. Overall, this one is really super comfortable. This one's not my favorite because for me it's just a little bit too stiff. I had the Ergo baby and I actually never used it. I ended up giving it to a friend, but for the same reason that I don't really go for this one as much, because it's more heavier. I didn't go for that one. I didn't like so much structure. So if you like feeling kind of like you're wearing a backpack in the support, this is definitely a good carry to go for because it's got this cushion for the straps. This is really a nice strong belt. It feels very secure, and then all of this just, it feels really nice and strong. Now, this one is very similar, except it's much more lightweight. This is the Lenny Lamb, just standard carrier. As you can see, the belt part goes on exactly the same, and it has the straps. Now, this one doesn't have an adjustable panel. It's just that size, and it stays that width. Has like a little bit of extra padding right here around the legs, which I really like. And it has the non-detachable hood. So this one kind of fits like this, and you can see how this would be really good for, like, especially a bigger baby. It's made of like a bamboo cotton woven material, so it's not stretchy at all. Oh, this one has a really thick, I have to press a button to get this one unbuckled. I like that as well. For this one, I can wear front, back, and side, so I really like that because it has this part in the strap where I can unbuckle the strap, so I can cross it and switch them out if I need to, so I could have the straps crisscross in the back, or I can have it that allows me to do the hip carry. So I really like that. This one also has this adjustment right here, like on the strap part next to where the baby is. And so the nice thing about having these is, say if I want to nurse my baby, all I have to do is do this adjustment, and I have that extra opening for her to nurse, as opposed to with most carriers and the Tula baby carrier, I'd have to adjust from here, and I don't like that as much. The other thing I really like about this carrier is because it has a buckle, and I can adjust it from this side if need be, or this side if need be. When it's on the back, like this, the adjustments I can pull like that, as opposed to having to reach back and pull it back towards me, because that can get really difficult. So it's really nice because if I'm back carrying and I need to tighten it, I can just go like this. But if I'm front carrying, I don't have to reach back like this. I can also just pull front, and it's tightened, and I can pull this. So really like the customization of this carrier. Like I said, with this one, it has a buckle that I have to press a little button for in order to release it. It's actually pretty hard, so you know it's a good buckle. This belt isn't as padded, so if you really like the super secure belt part, you might not like this as much. It doesn't have a pocket either, like the Tula one does. The straps are still padded, as you can see, and I prefer this. I prefer the less padding. It also doesn't have this padding up at the top, so like the Tula baby I can definitely wear with a smaller baby, but I definitely can't do that with this Lenny Lamb carrier. Really like the overall cutout of this one. Now the other carrier I have is a Tula Baby Light, and I don't often go for this carrier, and you're gonna see how it's a carrier. This is worn like a fanny pack purse type thing, but when I want to get my baby out and carry them, all I have to do is tighten the waist, unzip the back part of it. I have a baby carrier, and then I can just strap my little one on and go. And so this one is much, much lighter. The material is much lighter. You can see it still has some padding. This one does have a hood, but it can also snap in and out if I wanted to get rid of it. This one has a little bit of padding for the sleeves, but really not a lot. And then this one can also be worn on the back for if I wanted to back carry the baby. Now, I'm never buckling these in this video, and it's not because I don't when I'm wearing the baby, it's just because for the sake of this video I didn't want to be buckling and unbuckling. But if you are wearing your baby, you definitely do need to do that, especially if they're on the front. But this one, the panel is sort of adjustable because it's sitting inside of this zip part, so I can kind of just spread it out to fit the width of my child's seat, and then just pull it up over them. So this carrier is super convenient. It's super, super lightweight. I'm so surprised that it even fits down into this little bag area. I love this for being on the go because you can't really even tell that you have a carrier, and then it also has this extra storage where I can put like my phone, my keys, my wallet, and just zip it up, and it's good. And then when I'm not carrying my little one, just wear it as a bag. I often wear it like this. I wear it with my other purse, so it sits on my back, but it's super lightweight and I don't really even feel it. So this one is really cool, obviously, for, like I said, going out. That's really the only time I've used it. I haven't really used it as of late because I don't really go out as much, and now she's old enough where she can sit in the cart of a lot of the grocery cars at the store and that sort of thing. The last place I really remember this coming in hand was when I went to the mall. My aunt took me out for my birthday. We went out shopping and we went to the mall, and there aren't grocery carts at the mall, so we just kind of had to make use of what we had. And at the time, my little one was having like an aversion to strollers. She just did not want to sit in her stroller, and so I had this to carry my wallet in just in case. And so I put her in this and wore her, and she just fell asleep, and it really was convenient because then once we got in the car, it stuffed down and was really small. The only thing about this carrier that I don't really love is it will hurt my shoulders, and I believe, honestly, if I pull it out, I'll show you why. The straps on this carrier aren't very wide, and so I think that probably is it, because this one distributes the weight just a bit more, where this one is really thin. It could be also because this one isn't padded, but I just feel like it's a weight distributing thing, not so much like a digging into my skin thing. So I do like this. It is convenient, but this would not necessarily be something I would take like on a longer hike or walk or anything like that, but it is really good for going out to the store. Another soft structure carrier, and I'm just going to make everybody upset when I say this, is a mytie or myedit carrier. And there's a controversy about what's called, whether or not you should even use them because of cultural appropriation. And so I have one because it works. So this is a sort of soft structure carrier. I know it's kind of daunting, but it is similar in that it has a waist. This is the waist. And it has these shoulder pieces. You can see the waist is this part because it's straight, and the shoulder pieces are these because they're angled. This one you put on a little differently. So with the other ones, we've been putting them on, taking the waist, putting them on like this. This myedit carrier, you put on like an apron. So the other ones we are putting on like this. This one you do not. You put it on like an apron. You tie it. I actually like to bring it back to the front towards the end, but for the sake of this video, I'm just tying it like this. And then you take this, you bring it up, and you would wrap these pieces around and tie them in the front. So then you have a secure place for your little baby to sit. And this one can also be worn on the back and even the side if you know how to tie it right. The only thing about this one, because otherwise I think I would really like this carrier, is this one doesn't have long enough straps for me. And maybe that's just my body type, but like ideally I would like to be bringing these straps back to the front, which I have enough tail to do that. But then I'd like to be taking these straps, crossing them in the front, and then bringing them in the back. And I have some tail, but when I have actually a full-size toddler in here, I don't. And so I just don't feel like it's as secure as it could be if I had more tails. And really, it's just the shoulder tails that I even would want. So it's not so much a problem with the myedit carrier as it is just with Mine has shorter ties. Mine, actually, I got from a lady who had gone to Africa on a missions trip, and her and another lady bought these my dye carriers from one of the women there in Africa who handmade them. So this one's really cool. I'll probably like keep it forever, but it's not like a specific brand for me to be like, well, that brand has short ties. It's just the homemade one that she made doesn't have super long ties. So that actually could be fixed. I probably could pick apart the seams and add new ties, but it's just such a beautiful piece. I don't really want to do that, and it works anyway. It's not a carrier I go to all the time for me to really have to do that. They have carriers where it is a half buckle, so you have these shoulder straps to tie, but then this part, as opposed to tying around your waist, actually buckles. And so you have the buckle part that you can adjust, and then you can tie it however you want. I think I would really like, I could just never find one that was within my budget, so I just forewent all that anyway. And this one I almost totally forgot about, which is the Ergo Baby Embrace. This one is a newborn soft structure carrier, and it is made to feel like the wrap and in comfort for the mom and also for baby. So this one is a little bit confusing. So this one goes on like an apron. So unlike this one where you have it, you flip it, you put it on. This one you also put it on like an apron. So you're not flipping it, putting it on like an apron. And you do, in theory, put it through this thing. I'm not for the sake of the video because I'm just trying to get through this. And then you take these straps and you cross it in the back and buckle it to the side. Same thing with this one. And you have the carrier, their little legs sit here, their little arms sit here, and it's very padded around their head. And as you can see, it's a much smaller space for a much littler baby, because this is supposed to be from birth to like a year old. I actually forgot I had this carrier because it was in a pile to get rid of because I never wore it. I don't think I used it a single time. My daughter absolutely hated it. She screamed every time I put her in it. And then I haven't even tried to put him in it because I default to the wrap so much. I have a friend who I believe uses this. She can't figure out the wrap, and I think she said that she liked this, although she got one from Mom Cozy that's the same style, so I don't even think she has the Ergo Baby one. So it could be different. But I didn't like this. I didn't like it at all, actually. I always got confused crossing them in the back, and I felt like with them being so little, you know, the point of this one is you can wear them when they're super young, like super fresh newborns. And I felt like with them not having any head control, I almost felt like I had to hold them with both hands as I'm trying to get this thing on, and that was just not being feasible. And the other thing too with this carrier that I didn't like is the panel. Look at this. The panel is so wide. None of my newborns ever had like a leg span that could span that, and you're supposed to be able to. I mean, and in some cases you roll it like that, and I don't know. It didn't work for my babies. They were always too tall, so this cushion part for their head didn't actually support it, but then this width part was just too wide for them. And this is in my pile to get rid of, so I'm not keeping this. I'm not ever going to use this. So that one was a fail. I'm sure for some people they really like it. I had heard from other influencers out on YouTube that was their favorite carrier, which is one of the reasons I got it. For me, personally, for a newborn stage, I prefer the wraps. There is a carrier that's called the Bimno. I'm probably totally butchering that. I am so sorry. It's a Japanese carrier. I had one. I really didn't like one. I had one in the Lenny Lamb style, and it really hurt my back. So I just didn't find myself going for it. It really hurt my shoulders. That one does not have a support band around the waist. If anything, if you can visualize here with me, here's the waist of this one and the strap. It was like this almost. So you'd put it on and it would sit like that, and you'd have this buckle up in the front. Obviously it wasn't all these ties like I have, but in the legs, your baby's legs would sit in here. It would kind of curve up under here, and it looked like something like this. Now, it wasn't this because I don't have it anymore. I sold it. And the straps sort of held together like this. And they had like a little cross strap for your chest. And you could wear it on the front. You wear it like this. And your baby would just kind of sit in there like in a sling with their bum sitting right there. I didn't like it. It hurt my back, like, immediately as soon as I put it on. So either I had the wrong size, or maybe I just needed to try a different brand. I don't know, but I never ended up liking it. I had my husband try it. He also didn't like it, so I just turned around and sold it, and that was that. Kira Bloom makes a Bemino, whatever you call it, carrier, and I've heard from people that that one is super comfortable. Never used it, but if maybe that's the style you're really going for, then I would suggest looking into one of those. They are super expensive, so maybe try secondhand. Now, I want to tell you, out of all these carriers, which is my favorite, and this is my favorite for 6 months and beyond. Obviously, I've already said multiple times my favorite for a newborn is the wrap, but my favorite is the Lenny Lamb carrier, and for just all the reasons I said, the customizable buckle that allows me to move these straps and cross them and do all sorts of fun things, how lightweight the carrier is, the fact that the belt isn't super thick, the fact that the clasp is so durable, the adjusts where I can adjust from this way when it's on the back, but then also this way when it's on front. I love this little adjustment right here next to the neck that makes it super easy for nursing. It has these clips that allow the hood to be put up. This is my favorite carrier. This is the carrier that if you ever see me carry my oldest, I am carrying her in this one. So I will definitely be keeping this for a long, long time until I am completely done with babies. And I recommend that if you are looking for a carrier and you do like the more lightweight, that you go with this. Second runner-up is the Tula Baby carrier. And I say second runner-up not for me, but for my husband. Because for him, this is his favorite carrier. And I just want to say that he likes the padding. He really likes the security in the belt. He likes this pocket. He likes the adjustments. He likes that she can face outward because she's at the phase now with her being over a year old where she really likes doing that. So for him, this is his favorite. So if you like the structure and you like the support and you like maybe more of that heavyweightness of a carrier, then I definitely recommend the Tula Baby standard carrier. I can link that down in the description below because it is just such a great carrier. But all of these, the nice thing about them is you can find them online secondhand, and I don't think I paid more than $50 per carrier, and that's kind of pushing it. So that's really the nice thing about these carriers. You can find them secondhand, and I think probably because they're not like as mainstream as Secura Bloom, that's why you can find them for cheaper secondhand, whereas like Secura Bloom still sells for pretty expensive, even if you're buying like something that is used. So I hope that was helpful. I kind of wish there was a video that really broke down other carriers besides Secura Bloom when I was starting to baby wear, because I feel like every video out there is just Secura Bloom, Secura Bloom, Secura Bloom, and I was like, oh my gosh, there are no other carriers. I feel the same way. So hopefully this is helpful to you and helps you figure out what you want to do as far as baby wearing. Thank you all so much for watching to the end of this video. He wants to say goodbye with us. So if you like this sort of content, please feel free to like and subscribe. And you all have blessed days. Thank you all so much. Bye.